Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on a very bullish start to the week, and we have changed the daily trend for the bulls, and we have now extended to a daily higher low and higher high. So with that daily trend change, we zoom out to the weekly. We know the weekly bounce is still underway. My next target is looking up towards 280 and the weekly 12-period exponential moving average resistance. The most important support level for me is now this daily higher low of 243.90. That is the support level for the month of April for me. When we lose the daily uptrend, our weekly lower high will be set, and our weekly lower high is not set yet. So you're gonna see a ton of posts on social media saying the market's rigged and this doesn't make any sense. But again, this is a game and we need to play the game with day-to-day information that we're given, and anything is possible, including a rip to all-time highs in 2 weeks from now. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but you better believe that that is one possibility, however low a probability, that is one possibility that is in play, always. We could also dump straight to lower lows in 2 weeks. Every scenario is in play. Drop that bias and you will be a much better trader, I promise. So we have an hourly uptrend to be watching now. Little support level at the end of the day at 261.28. Huge bull move to break that resistance very convincingly. And I didn't do much trading today, just holding my no-touch SPY long-term position, and I did re-enter GLD on Thursday. We'll talk about that when we get to gold. I did take one little day trade at the end of the day, just a bearish SPXS position for a quick flip, but looking forward to heading into tomorrow with a fresh, clean slate. I've been outside in the yard all day today. So bulls have control in their favor, and as long as we hold 243.90, the daily uptrend remains intact. IWM has not broken 117.60 resistance. The most important support level is 102.60, but if we do not break 117.60, it will be notable. Let's see if it's a laggard. It's certainly weaker than most sectors and most markets, but let's see if we break 117.60. That would only give further confidence to market bulls if the laggards follow along as well. QQQ, certainly one of the leaders with its bull break over 195.25. And one thing I want to point out, first let's look at the weekly. Weekly exponential resistance is much closer. Going to be watching that as well, right around 200. But what I'm watching as well is Amazon, because Amazon bulls have maintained their daily uptrend just barely. And every time we form another higher low, it gives better risk to reward for the bears, in my opinion, once the right signal is given. Meaning, once we lose the daily uptrend, I'm going to be watching for potential bearish swing position on a name like Amazon or Netflix because of how clear their higher lows are on the way up. So another higher low here on Netflix at 357.51. And what I mean by that is previously I would have had to wait for a break of 339 to lose the daily uptrend. But now we have a closer level, and that's what I'm going to be watching. So keeping an eye bigger picture on these names that have more developed and more clear higher low daily uptrends. But as of right now, certainly no sign of weakness in them. And we are looking at Netflix almost back to pre-COVID levels, which is pretty impressive. XLF has not broken 2182. That's very important as well. If 2182 does not break on XLF, we know this bull move in the S&P 500 is not going to go very far, and we're going to set a weekly lower high fairly quickly. If, like I said, for IWM, if XLF breaks bullish, that's going to give market bulls even more confidence that the important sectors that are lagging are following as well. I would need to see a 2182 rejection and a bear break of 1936 for the bears to prove anything to me. And for SPY, I need a break of 243.90 for the bears to prove anything to me. And that's $20 away at this point. So bulls starting this week very comfortably. XLV, daily trend change, higher low and most important support level is now 83.93. As far as next resistance goes for everybody, I'm looking at weekly exponential resistance. And it's not a hard price level. We can look back on the way down at resistance levels that were created on the drop down. Next one that's clear would be 95.42. But visually, the exponential resistance is going to be key for me. Biotech sector, 79.26 broke, so the daily follow through. Most important higher low is 72.38. And again, weekly exponential 12-period resistance is approaching for everybody. SMH, 122 breaks, and the bulls get their follow through. The most important support is now 110.24, and weekly exponential resistance is approaching. Again, still thinking, for me, that the most likely scenario is weekly lower highs and equilibriums. These bull breaks increase the odds for me. Odds of a bear flag decrease. Odds of a weekly equilibrium increase. So I would not be surprised to see the bulls top out somewhere around the exponential resistances sometime in the next couple of weeks, and then look for a pullback and look for a higher low and a tightening range into May. That is what I feel is the most likely scenario, and every single day I'm going to be looking for more and more information to either affirm or deny that bias that I have. That's a bias. I think that's the most likely scenario based on thousands of charts and experience. And now, every day, I move my probability needle. Is it more likely that that's going to be the case or less likely that that's going to be the case? And as far as today, big move for the probability needle that it's more likely to be a tightening weekly case. Where were we? SMH broke bullish. TLT still keeping its higher lows. 164.56 is the most important short-term support. Again, same scenario. We are looking for a weekly lower high, and a loss of the daily uptrend will indicate that has been set. So the bulls 164.56 needs to hold to prevent that longer-term consolidation. And that's the most important support level for me, with resistance 170.33, 172.93 behind it. Close up near the high of the day. The VIX, gap down open, not much going on with the VIX, but still watching 36.20 and still anticipating we will likely hold that level, at least on the initial attempt. I would be watching for a hold of that support and then a bounce to a daily lower high for a tightening range in the VIX as well. Gold, big bull break. So I got to give myself a pat on the back because this is the best swing trade that I've ever had in my life, because I don't really swing trade often. But after entering in December, exiting half a position on March 9th and then the other half on March 12th, and then re-entering on April 1st, things have been going pretty perfectly as far as how this trade is playing out. The daily trend has changed. My stop loss remains below 1572 for now on GLD, whatever the GLD level aligns with there. And I will move my stop loss up next time we set a daily high or low to have no risk on the trade if we set a daily high or low. And ideally looking for a break of 1703 to see continuation of gold. With where we stand right now, we are currently about 4.5% from a new higher high, which would be a multiple year high. And actually it's less than that. It's only 2.5%. Math was off there. So 2.5% before that resistance break. And again, you want to find the next resistance level on gold from there. We're looking up at 1723, 1754. There's not a ton. So liking the position of gold. And the other factor is look at the dollar and look at the S&P 500. And I've said this multiple times throughout this swing trade, and it was my initial reason for getting in December. I love the way gold is holding up with the dollar strong and the market strong, because I know any weakness in the dollar and any weakness in the market likely will only help gold. Well, here we are again in the same exact scenario where we're looking for the dollar to give us a lower high and stay in this tightening range. I'm looking for a lower high compared to 103 is the most likely scenario. And even just a couple red days of a lower high could help these gold bulls get up and over 1703, which is our current top. Silver, bull break as well. Daily high or low is now 1382. And resistance from here is up at 1526. Very different looking chart. Tons of previous resistance levels that we're going to have to get through to see a lack of resistance. And you can see the XAU XAG chart is bearish short term if we break 110.39 more convincingly. We broke it by a few pennies, and this means silver is gaining on gold. But if we look big picture, this is very healthy consolidation. So I would anticipate gold is going to remain stronger than silver big picture. Certainly not, day by day in the last couple of days, but I am absolutely looking for a weekly higher low on this chart. And then gold would start to regain its strength versus silver once that weekly higher low is found. Miners, 2721 key resistance on GDX. Anything above 23 even is a daily higher low. So the fact that gold broke bullish, I've been talking about watching for a minor weekly lower high for a week now. And the fact that gold broke bullish increases the odds that this daily uptrend can remain intact. If we break 2721 and get follow through, we know anything above 23 will just be a daily higher low, and we will still patiently be waiting, just like Amazon and Netflix. We will still patiently be waiting for a weekly lower high, and we know it's just not yet if we get a bull break of 2721. If we reject from that level into tomorrow, things are going to get interesting with a tightening daily time frame on these miners. Oil, big pullback into futures last night. There was anticipated the potential of a deal over the weekend. They said, nope, no deal. We're now looking to Thursday for the meeting, and that will be, check my time zone conversion, but I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern is when that meeting will start. So oil, daily inside bar, and if that breaks bearish, the bulls are going to have to form a daily higher low, or they're going to try and form a daily higher low before that Thursday meeting. And anything above 1929 is a daily higher low, so bulls have plenty of space to work with. This 12-hour chart was real overextended. There's no major red flags looking at this 12-hour chart at this point. So all eyes will be on Thursday, and we'll see if consolidation remains fairly healthy until then. Natural gas bulls are showing up. This move is coming straight off the low. We know not to believe the bulls when they do that because they've done it 100 times in the last few months, and every time has had a lack of follow through. Even just here, 161 to $2, straight from the low to a big bull move, and no follow through. So we need a daily trend change to have confidence. We are breaking some short-term resistance levels. 1714 is a short-term top right now that we need to break, but it'll be all about the daily trend change, which will come at some point, the attempt for a higher low and higher high. And looking at the weekly time frame, weekly exponential resistance will be in play, and anything under $2 is a weekly lower high. Let's see if the bulls can change the daily trend there. So overall, congrats to the bulls. Big start to the week. Lots of cushion for pullback now. When you go 6-7%, we can now pull back on SPY. We could have a, let's see, what percent pullback do we need to break that daily support? We need about 8.5% to see a break of the daily uptrend. So that's a lot of room to work with. We'll see if the bulls can tack on from here. Hourly time frame, a bit extended. RSI is in the upper 70s. I'd want to see an hourly higher low if I were going to be looking for bullish entries from here. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. I appreciate you watching. Hope you had a good weekend and start to the week. Reminder, Friday, Good Friday, is closed markets in both Canada and the US. So 3 more trading days, and option premium is going to reflect that if you are looking at weekly options. They're going to move faster. Hope you're well. See you soon. So we'll end today with a little bit of story time with a story that just happened, and I don't think you'll see it in the newspaper tomorrow, but today I'm a duck hero. So it started the morning with Daddy Duck hanging out by himself, which he does often now these days. I assume Mom's sitting on a nest of eggs somewhere, and she generally comes for an hour or two during the day, and then they'll leave together. So he comes early, he was hanging out, and he suddenly flew out of the pond, which wouldn't be surprising, but he flew in a way that I've never seen the ducks exit the pond. They always exit the same way. So that in itself was a little bit different. And then I looked up in the sky and saw that there were 3 ducks up in the sky, and judging by the calls and the way they were flying around, something was up, something was not normal. So there's the 3 ducks, there's aggressive quacking, and they're just circling above. And normally they fly to their destination. There's no circling above unless they're going to land. So they're circling around, and eventually one duck breaks off, and then the pair keeps circling around, and then they do this slow corkscrew down and land into the pond. And that's the couple, the mom and dad mallard, who have been at the pond for a while. So I figured, that was a little bit strange. I wonder if there was another duck trying to get with mama duck. So a half hour later, I'm out there watering, and a big mallard makes a crash landing into the pond and starts to aggressively go after the female. There's a bunch of quacking. the poor daddy duck, who is smaller, was trying to box him out and put himself in between the two ducks. And through all of that, I ran down to the pond and clapped really loud, and that broke the trance of the bad guy mallard. And with a couple well-placed thrown sticks, separated them enough that the couple went off and they were consoling each other, and then the big duck gave up for the time being. So essentially, I saved the day. And you can do it all you want here on my property, it's just got to be consensual. Consent is really important, and we're not going to have any sneaky backdoor mallards try and plant their seed on my watch. So that's my day.